So this mini tuition video is about tones and semitones. A semitone on the piano, which is the perfect instrument to explain theory. Everything is laid out visually for us. On the piano, the semitone is the nearest distance we can have. Starting from here, going up, I go to the next black key. So if I go back here, it's always to the right, but sometimes it's up to the black key and down again. In pitch, we're going up. I've missed out no keys, and I've played, in fact, a kind of scale, and it's called the chromatic scale, playing just semitones, all equidistant from one another. So that is a very nice scale, and you can play it quite easily, but it's harder to write down. It actually, if you've watched or you know the keys names, you have to decide, is it C sharp or D flat, and it depends a bit on your choice, partly, or on the key you're in, and all sorts of other reasons why you chose one over the other. But it looks a mess to write out, but easy to understand. It's just going from one key to another, and you're leaving out nothing at all. That's what we call a semitone. It's a small step, so I suppose they didn't want to call it tone, and then we have to add up so and so many tones to make up a bigger step, like between that. So semitones can also be called half tones. It's the same word. Semi is simply Latin. And so we've got, thinking of half, if that's a half tone, and this is a half tone, and giving our math skills, we know it's half and half makes a whole. So this one is a whole tone. Now semitones can look black to white, white to black, white to white. This is all semitone, but whole tones can have quite different shapes to look at. And if you're learning the piano or you're trying to work out something on the piano, it can be really helpful to understand those 4 different ways to look at a whole tone. So a whole tone can be between 2 white keys, like that. There's one key in between. In effect, it doesn't matter what color it has. Of course, between white keys, there will be a black key in the middle. Now I just go up to that key, and I go up a tone from here. So I skip that one, which is white, and I end up on this key. That's a tone as well. Or back to 2 white keys, that's easy enough. Now I'm starting from here. I skip my next door key, this is white, but the next one after is white as well. So this also is a whole tone. And if I go up again and start from here, I skip that one, I end up on a black key, and this is a whole tone again. So this is 4 ways for a whole tone to look on the keyboard. I just play them again. 2 whites, 2 blacks, skipping a bit, going from a black to a white, and going up a little bit, and that's 4 notes. And just to notice, just to make sure we know, this one is not a tone, but it's obviously also not a semitone. It's, if I think how many keys I've skipped, I'm skipping 2 here. So if that's a whole tone, and I add another half, I simply call that a tone and a half. And when we get to scales, all of these things become quite interesting, especially that one for minor scales.